break. And I have done more research on that channel 1420. And the channel reminds me of that, it's that line from Shakespeare, doth protest too much. You know, somebody that's like trying to convince you of something. I know this dude, and every time I see him, he's a great guy. He's a great guy. I really like him. I consider him a friend. He's always, like, I'll run into him, and I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, I got some strippers back here at this apartment, and I'm like, you know, it's always like that. But like, I see the guy, I really do, I like this dude, and he's like, you know, like there's a hot-looking chick walking down, it's like, man, check that out, like, it's just too much, you know, it's just too much. I don't care. I don't give a shit what whatever you do in your personal life, that's your business. But, you know, so I'm not going to say, hey, you know, I'm not going to do that. But when I think of this Russian channel, I think it's sort of like that. It's trying to convince you that it's not propaganda. And he even says that. He says, like, we've been having a lot of comments on the channel, and, you know, it's in regards to propaganda. Hang on real quick. Is it Destiny? What are you doing, baby? All right. I was just seeing what Destiny was doing. So, like, if somebody's saying, like, you know, this isn't propaganda, and they've repeated it a couple times, I tend to believe, like, well, if it wasn't propaganda, then why are you saying that it's not propaganda? My raven knocked over my water bottle. Nice job, Sam. So it's already suspected, and clearly other people are commenting on it, and so am I. I'm not commenting on his channel, but I've watched a lot of the Russian channels lately, and there's one channel that they're all sort of similar, and it's the same model. They all use the same thing, which is I'm just like you. I'm a friendly Russian. You want to be my friend. And then so it's like that. But then as soon as the war started, it turned into how unfair the sanctions are, like that. Now on several of the channels, they tout using a VPN. Well, in Russia, you can't use a VPN. It's not legal. You can't use a VPN. They want to control what you see. So right away, that's like, you know, something doesn't smell right. And there's several channels that talk about VPNs. Like, see, you know, we get information, you know, like that. Like, the one channel 1420, that it's more clever than the channels that are just about, like, I'm a friendly Russian, like me, you know, I'm likable, I'm just like you. You know, they're trying to influence. This one influences differently, and it influences by interviewing people on the street. And they'll have questions like, what do you think of Americans? You know, they go up to one guy and say, they're fat and lazy. You know, and then somebody's like, I got no problem with it. You know, it goes through a whole wide variety of what you might expect, but with sort of like a twist on, yeah, they're all right. I got no problems with it, which might be very true. That's a fact. I think basically people are people, and I do think that the Russian people are getting facts trickled in. They don't have it like we have it, but sooner or later, Sam's screwing with my tripod. Sooner or later, you lose 15,000 people from your military, you know, and 7 generals were killed. Hey, Sam, quit it. That's a lot. People are gonna find out what's really going on. So he walks around asking them questions, and even Like, one of the times I was talking about this last night, he goes around asking, what do you think of our government? And before what's up, Shirley? Before he starts the interview, he says right away, in this interview, some people said some crazy things, and I don't know if they're going to get in trouble or not. But I made it so that, it's just subtitles, so they're not actually saying it. So I don't know that that's going to skirt the law so much because, to be very honest, it's Russia. And if they want the original tape, the video, they're going to get it. And I think that they have it already. So this guy goes around town asking these questions, and it seems highly suspicious. You're in Russia and you have a camera and you're just going around saying whatever, interviewing people, and you don't have anybody minding you. I don't believe it. If you go to like North Korea, right, which I don't recommend anybody goes to North Korea, but like before Americans could like get in there, they always had somebody minding them and taking them wherever. Somebody's doing a documentary, showing them what they wanted to see. I don't think it's too much different if you're a Russian citizen and you're hey, Sam, give me my sign. You're just gonna make it into a big mess. I don't think it's too much different for a Russian citizen that's doing videos in Moscow. At the very least, you're gonna have to have a permit. And I'm sure that these people are sort of know people. And it's probably like a job, like you work for us and we give you a salary, you work on our payroll, but you can also keep the YouTube money, whatever. I don't know how it works, but it's highly suspicious that there's so many channels alike. And then there's this one channel that is sort of different, but he's like, if it's not propaganda, don't worry about it. You wouldn't say it. And you wouldn't have a VPN either. And you wouldn't be saying, like, it's just so suspicious. I'm sorry. There's just, many of these Russian YouTubers say they're apolitical, but in reality, they just want money from Americans. That might be true, but that might be included in what they make. Okay? So, I've seen it so many times. I'm not political, but this isn't propaganda, but if anybody's telling you before the thing, that means it is. This isn't propaganda, and then they go into, propaganda. Or, I've never been political on my channel, but all of them have. And even that Dan guy, he liked Trump, they sneak it in. They totally sneak it in. It's not like propaganda. If it was real obvious, it wouldn't be effective. You don't want to say, "Hey, this is obviously propaganda." You want like this guy. This is not propaganda. But I mean, it's got a slickness to it. This guy probably went to film school. It's got a slickness to it. He sort of knows what he's doing. I never see the camera that he's using. It appears that he's just shooting it, but I don't know. It could be a hidden camera for all I know. But it doesn't appear that way. And with that said, the people that he could be interviewing, those could just be setups. And you might say, well, it looks too real. Oh, please. There's actors in Russia just like there's actors here. You say, I want you to say this, and this line, I want you to, sound real, and people can do it. I guarantee you it can be done. So you don't really even need to go up. Or, like in this one where they're interviewing people, I find it strange that before the last video that I watched, she's like, these people said some crazy stuff. They might get in trouble, He knows that they might get in trouble, yet he puts out the video anyway and doesn't blur out their face, because if he did, they're coming after him. He takes away their audio and just does a subtitle. What is that going to keep them safe, dude? Facial recognition exists. They're using it in the Ukraine with the dead Russian soldiers trying to figure out who they are. So all these Russian channels, I was taking with a grain of salt before the war. Now I really do. I just don't think any of it's real. Now this bumps out some people that have like fallen in love with the YouTuber. And I've seen it on every channel. If I make a video and I talk about one of the channels, there's always the fans that are either real fans from the US or the UK or wherever, or some are obviously trolls from St. Petersburg. So clear. So obvious. So obvious. It could be either or. It's probably a mix of a lot. Some of them, it's just too short and too, it's just some lonely person that doesn't have anything to do, start watching the YouTuber and then just sort of like, they're just like me and I like them and they're having a kid and I don't have a kid or I had a kid. It reminds me of my grandkid. I'm going to send them money, and then you send them money and stuff and you don't want to think that there's something that they're not. Like there's very few people are just like, fuck it, take me as I am. I don't really care on YouTube. They're just like, you can write whatever and they're not going to, I delete people constantly. What am I going to do? I don't want to lose my self-respect. If somebody says something, does something, I don't care who you are, you're gone. I'm a dick. But there's a lot of YouTubers, like I like Leon Lush, right? I watch his channel. He's not a guy that's going to be like, I'm going to get rid of him. That's me. Which, if I wasn't like that, I'd have more subs, I'm sure. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just sort of like, whatever. That's not me. Somebody says something about dog training that's incorrect, I'm removing you and you can never write again, because I don't want anybody saying anything incorrect about dogs, because it's disinformation and, what I'm saying is correct. So it's only me. I don't really care what you think because you're wrong. I've been doing this. I have experience with how many dogs? Too many to count. Puppies, how many? Too many to count. So I know what I'm doing. So don't write your suggestions or like, you're going to disagree with the professional? Bye. I don't need you as a sub. But there's this whole thing of like, people watch the channels, they think that they understand the person or something, and maybe there's like this aspect of it's fun to help the Russian couple. I'm sorry, I know this sounds like really, cynical, but they just don't seem real. It just seems fake. It's so phony. Like that one channel. Hello, adorables. Oh, shut the fuck up. I can't stand it. I can't stand a channel that starts out saying something like, hi guys. Oh yeah, like the audience is too stupid to realize that, you're just talking to a camera. That's the thing about like when I'm doing this, if I'm looking at the camera to the viewer, it seems like I'm talking to you, right? Because photography lies. It lies. So you get screwed up in the head thinking like, this is real. It's not necessarily real. Now on my channel, I have both fact and fiction. It's not my job to say which is which, I've had people say, well, which Peter am I seeing? You're seeing me. I'm generally the same, unless with, some acting thing. And that should be obvious, and it's not, it's not for me to explain. Why am I going to do that? This is real. This is me. I'm talking. So I think a lot of people have just gotten wrapped up into this and they can't face facts. Like I can think about people that ran for political office that won that clearly weren't good, but it's like you don't want to think bad about your guy you don't want to think anything bad about your guy. You voted for him. you're part of that team. You want them to win at all costs, which is weird. That's not what, I don't know, I did sports when I was a kid. That's not what you're supposed to do. You win at all costs? Then you didn't really win, did you? You cheated? You cheated. Let's call it what it is. It's cheating. And you're good at it because you keep the same story the whole time, although you have a lot of people saying, hey, you clearly cheated. And you could show the people that are on his team that voted for him, and you could say, look, this is facts. Like, he cheated. He's cheating. He's lying. That's a big lie. No way. Like, why do you think he wouldn't lie? Because they've been watching him on TV. They learned to like him. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, it's Orwellian. That's just how it is. It's a shame, but it's true. People get sucked in. I don't know. That's some people, not me. I'm too, you're not going to brainwash me. You're not going to hypnotize me either. So, when I hear something, this is true. When I hear something, I don't necessarily believe it instantly. If I hear it multiple times, I start believing it. If I hear the facts and they really make sense, and my source is good, right? Which wouldn't be, Russian TV run by the state. That wouldn't be a good source, RT. I wouldn't believe anything from RT. So, I get it. There's these people that are seeing that and they're sort of brainwashed. And then there's people that are involved in it in the government or involved in the propaganda, and they're putting out the propaganda. And people are believing it, of course. Now, this is a fact. And I've seen this, and it's hard to believe, but it's true. Somebody's IQ has nothing to do with them believing conspiracy or lies. It doesn't. I've seen intelligent people with college degrees totally believe conspiracy stuff. It's amazing. It's like you could be smart but be real gullible. Like, oh, it makes sense. It's got to be true. It's easier to think that it's true than to think, well, maybe this doesn't add up. This doesn't smell right. So it's amazing that, like, some of the smartest people can actually be fooled into believing crap. Look at, what's her name? I forgot what Virginia Thomas, Clarence Thomas's wife. You read her text. That's a woman with a college education. She might have a law degree. Like, she went to, some kind of Ivy League school, I think. And she's like, she's unhinged. She just, like, what happened there? Like, either she thinks it, or she doesn't think it, or she convinced herself to think it. It's crazy stuff. I know a lot of it stems from power. There's people that get in power. Putin. Yeah, she does think that she's above the law because she's married to Clarence Thomas, and I don't think she is. And I'm not so sure Clarence Thomas is. He's... Why would he not have to... He could be subpoenaed by the Justice Department, absolutely. Or maybe Roberts is going to have to deal with it in some way. He cannot be, any cases that have to do with January 6th or Trump. He can't. He's too involved. It's his wife. Oh, but they say, no, we keep work and, we keep our work separate. Oh, give me a break. It's all hand in hand. It's about sort of the same thing. It's his wife. It's not good. It really isn't good. So he looks real suspicious because everybody on the court, when that January 6th stuff comes up, says, yeah, Congress can have it. And then there's one dissenting justice Thomas. And now we're finding out why. Because his wife is involved. For all we know, he could be involved. Smart people get this crazy shit in their head and they start thinking it's true. It boggles my mind that like somebody that went to Yale or, here's an example. The governor of Florida, okay? That guy is a maniac. He says stuff that clearly isn't true. I believe he went to Harvard and then Yale for his law degree, something like that. It's all Ivy League. Maybe it's Princeton and Yale, something like that. Yet he's just down there saying whatever and berating high school kids about wearing a mask. He's like anti-science. It's like he reminds me of someone else. He's all about conspiracy, and he's all about okay, so there's a certain group of people that he knows are into this. They're into the conspiracy. They're already thinking this. There's like that racial element, and he knows that group of people is pretty large down there. And if he gets that group of people to vote for him, he's golden. So he sort of tells them what they want to hear, even though maybe he doesn't really believe it. Like, this is hypothetical. Maybe he has kids that are school age, and he's saying, no, your children, nobody has to get vaccinated. You don't have to get vaccinated in the school. That's ridiculous. Spouting conspiracy theories about the vaccines, blah, blah, blah. But factually, he maybe went to the doctor with his children, and his children had the vaccine. I don't know. I mean, that's real common. We see that with Fox News. Fox News, they have this real hardcore thing about I don't know if it's the same, but you have to wear a mask, and when, we're talking about not the local, but you have to wear that, and they wanted everybody vaccinated. If you weren't vaccinated, blah, blah, blah. You have people like Sean Hannity and Tucker Carlson spouting anti-vax stuff, but they're both vaccinated. What's that? They have that audience they don't want to lose. It's about power. It's just about power. I don't want a loser following me. Sorry. And if I think somebody's a loser, I make my decision. Bam, you're gone. You say something that is just rude, or you say something derogatory about a group of people. I don't want you here. I'll keep my 180,000 subs for 10 more years. I don't really give a damn. But I don't want you here, and why am I going to put up with that? Why would I put up with that? For what, a sub? You got to be kidding me. Not everything is about money, clearly. I live in a shithole. But at the end of the day, when you're dead, what did you have? You had your self-respect, and a lot of people aren't going to have it. They don't have it. They don't care. It's just about power, money, and the more money you get, the more you want. Putin doesn't have enough land. Putin doesn't have enough money. So he's going to do this really archaic thing where he wants to take over a country that clearly is not Russian anymore. It's been the Ukraine for a long time. He's just going to do it and gain more wealth. He's worth $600 billion. Literally, he's the richest man in the world. Why does he need more? People that are that wealthy, Jeff Bezos' wife. Jeff Bezos' wife is trying to give away her money too. They have so much money, they can't give it away fast enough. That's true of, say whatever you want about Bill Gates. I met the man, he was very polite. I liked him. I had no problem with him, and I've never had a problem with that guy. There's a lot of conspiracy shit about that guy that seems unfair. He's giving away his wealth, okay? But they make it look bad because he's got so much wealth that he can't give it away fast enough. It's absurd. He doesn't have to give anything away. He could be like Putin. But Bill's not doing anything anymore, so he's got this philanthropic nature, and he's like, You ask him about like vaccines and stuff. He's an educated guy. He knows what he's talking about. That's what he's doing. That's one of his things that he does is he goes over to like third world countries and tries to get, people to get polio shots. He's paying for this. He's paying for this to be done. That affects everybody. It affects us. Like if other countries that were, he's involved in the COVID thing too, the COVID response. If these third world countries, everybody got vaccinated all at once, bam, we'd have no problem. But there's like people in this country were like, no, I'm not getting that. Puts a microchip in you and the government tracks you. Like there was a guy down there, I like him, I like the dude. Me and Destiny were talking about him the other day. We haven't seen him in a while. He was down working at Dollar General. And that's what he was saying. He was saying, no, I'm not doing that because then the government can track you. And it's like, track you? They could track you by your credit card. They can track you by toll booths. But, what are you worried about anyway? And besides, the needle's too small. You put a chip in a dog. I was a vet tech, I'm telling you, the needle's real big. So, but that's spreads over the internet. It's just like this conspiracy stuff, or the fact that like they say, well, it was untested. No, it was totally tested. And they did sort of hurry it up, the test, meaning all the tests were complete that needed to be done, that they would do the trials, okay? And the vaccine, they've been working on that corona vaccine, for that RNA vaccine for years. This has been in the works. That's a fact. The reason why I know this is because the common cold is a coronavirus. COVID is a coronavirus. So they've been working on this. So they were sort of good to go. Yeah, we can get it going. We can, 6 months, we can probably be doing the trials, whatever. It's absurd that this stuff gets. There was the one vaccine, the J&J, that I think it was like you had 1 out of a million chance of having like a problem with your heart. It was, I think it was female people were getting it, and it's like 1 out of a million, so it was still extremely safe. They're saying it's safer to get it than not get it. But that just alone was enough to set people oh no, I'm not gonna, and then stuff on the internet just starts getting moved around and numbers are changed, and there's where I was seeing stuff where there's the vaccines that are really safe, Pfizer, Moderna, J&J, had killed all this. It was all BS, man. It was all just what are you talking about? But people, they want to believe it. They want to believe it, so they don't even go fact check it. There are sites that'll fact check. If you see it on Facebook and it says it, and because you saw it on Facebook, your buddy put it there, and you believe it just because your friend said it, that doesn't mean that it's true. This is a whole problem with politics now, is it's let's use this, what we know, this Orwellian thing where if we repeat it over and over, they've known about this for years. You hear Obama do a speech, and he knew about it. You say it how would you say it? If we tax the rich, it will help out everyone in this country. And he waits for a second. If we tax the rich, it'll help out everyone. He's repeating it. That's a whole thing. That's a whole thing. But the person that's sitting in the crowd, whatever, you're not really thinking oh yeah, I notice he repeats certain things. See, he's doing that on purpose. So that's a whole psychological thing. That just exists. So they know that, and I could talk about this one politician that I think is gross, but either he knows it, or he's just sort of like that and a pathological liar, so it really works for him. So, Like in that case, your basic rule of thumb is with who I'm talking about is like, if you lie, you stick to your lie no matter what. Even if you're caught, you don't change. You don't change your story. That's his approach. You just stick with it. And then if you are going to change your story, you change it about 2 weeks later after people are talking about something else and you say, no, I didn't say that, I said this. That's gaslighting. Dealing with people that gaslight is very difficult. It's very difficult. You know perfectly well what the person said, and there's like no reason to sit there and argue with them because they'll just keep doing it. Like, no, I did not say that. That's who we're talking about. That's like a type of personality that will do that. He uses it to his advantage, and it works. You know, there's all these things that guy uses to his advantage. Tie it up in court. You know, wait it out because there's like a statute of limitations. Samson, I gave Sam a steak bone last night. It was for a tomahawk steak. Sammy, did you like that? I gotta get Sam fresh water. Put some of the beef in the water. It smells like a pond now. Good job, Sam. But it's a real. It's troubling because we do like generally I think people just believe what they hear and because they want to. They want. Sam, what are you doing? They want to believe. You know, you definitely don't want to believe that your guy would lie to you because you've invested so much. You're emotionally invested. After somebody runs for office and they win, the person feels like elated. Oh, the person that I voted for, that I made the choice for, they won, so that means I won. And then if you find out I remember my dad with Nixon. My dad backed Nixon until the end. And I remember I was in his car, I think it was a Gran Torino, and he said, wow, he was a crook. That's what he said. And I said, what do you mean? He goes, well, you know, he's not going to be president anymore because he was a crook. I said, but I thought he was the good guy. No, he was a crook. He's got to go. But then even years later, I remember my dad had some kind of attitude like, well, they all do it. Like he still couldn't admit to himself that he backed a loser. Not a loser, he backed like a criminal. Like it's tough for people to swallow that they made a bad choice. And, you know, it's like, I remember I'm old, so there's been a lot of times when I voted for somebody and they lost. It's a shitty feeling, but I'm like, oh, well. And man, usually I really back the person that's sitting in office, almost always, except a very recent time, where there was no reason to back them because it was lie after lie after lie. And that's what you have in Russia too. It doesn't matter. We have Putin telling his people, that's fake news, and threatening them. If you don't have freedom of the press, you don't have anything even close to democracy, because freedom of the press is what keeps our country the way that it is. And we can lose our democracy too if we get somebody really bad in there that wants to say that, like, our journalists are enemy of the people, and he's got a large enough group of people that believe him, or a large enough group of people that thinks that it's fake news. But I don't know. It's balanced, but there's Well, 1420. I'm gonna remove your comment. I'll tell you why. I'm not gonna ban you, okay? But I don't really want people giving them views. And if you think that it's entertainment, and you don't realize that it's probably propaganda, which you could have just been propaganda, because you're saying, right? I just said that it's most likely propaganda, and then you're like, it's not bad if you go back and look over here and go through their library. No, actually. That doesn't smell right to me. It doesn't. Like I said, I don't really care if you sub or unsub. See, like this person is a nut, right? Boy, I really like working with this dog, Lutsy. He's such a typical bird dog. I have him. I don't have him under my thumb yet, but he's getting there. We were walking today. He was holding the dummy, and we were walking. He's not quite picking it up. Like when he came, he would take it. He would take something, but like if it was on the ground and you tell him to pick it up, he's not picking it up. So we're still getting that established. He's doing a much better heel, that's for sure. He's really picking up on that. But so I need to get him. It's like got parts to it, teaching the dog to retrieve. One of them is moving with the object because you don't want them to drop it. You want them to hold it. So I'll walk with them on a leash with the object in their mouth. The other is, and also have them do down and up and stuff like that. The others, they have to take it, but they also have to take it off the ground. So say you throw it and you get a refusal, you have to be to the point where the dog will pick it up no matter what. He's not there. But he will be because he likes it. He does. He's totally into it. He's a bird dog. He's awesome. He's a fast. God damn, that dog's fast. I won't have him out there with Tonka because I'm afraid that if they start running, it's going to be a competition and somebody's going to knock over the Weber kettle. Two fast dogs. But the puppy's younger. The puppy's definitely younger by a lot of years. But Tonka would try and... Tonka's fast. He's still fast. Fast dog. All those bird dogs are real fast. I think I read something that somebody was breeding those into mushing dogs, like the GSP, because it's such a fast dog. The only problem with GSP is it has no fat content. Same thing with the Vizsla, especially when they're young. So you have to breed them with something that has a lot of fur, an undercoat. And I think that that's what they were doing. But it's a very fast dog. You know what would make a good mushing dog is a standard poodle, and I bet somebody's used them. They're sort of would be built for that. I could see that. And that fur. What do you think about pit bulls? I own pit bulls, man. There's incidences with a lot of dogs. They're not trained, okay? And there's a lot of stupid people. What are you talking about, man? That's was removed. I didn't hide you, but stop that, man. There's nothing wrong with pits. Just stop it. That's like racism. It's breedism. They're no different than any other breed. It's ridiculous. They're all the same in varying degrees, right, Sam? Sammy, you want to come up here? Sammy, come up here. Sam looks good. Don't you, Sam? Do you want some of this water? You want a cup full of water? Here. Take a lid full. Do you want it? Want it? You want another one? Here, take another one. Samson, here. Want that? I gotta figure out, we gotta eat something for dinner. See what Destiny wants to do. How's Rem's out there? She's cute as can be. Rem's doing real good. Remy. I wish this war wasn't going on. Man, we just get out of the pandemic and things like, you know, we're gonna tailspin into a recession. People aren't gonna spend money. It's fucked up. It's real messed up. Oh, hi Sam, how you doing? You wanna say hello? Here, get on. Where's Samson? Sammy, say hello. Sam, look at the bird in the thing. They don't pass the mirror test, so I don't even know if he realizes. I don't know if they studied this species, pied-crow raven or brown-neck, so maybe he can, I don't know. But generally speaking, a raven doesn't. Hey, what are you doing, dude? What a goon. I wish to, oh, I'm making bread, I forgot. It's rising right now. That's what I came up here. I was like, oh, go up and live stream, and then the bread will rise, and then you can throw it in the oven. It's bread with an egg in it, and I used some milk. It's that kind of bread. Sometimes I'll make it with just, you know, a little bit of water. That's good too. I just feel like I want something more substantial or something. I don't know. And I tried. I tried to make bread recently, and my yeast was screwed up. Like it was real old. So that's the kind of bread that I was trying to make. It never rose, man. I had it in a hot area. I had it on top of the oven for 8 hours, and it really didn't do anything. So I was just like, whatever. So now I got, what is that? Oh, it's paint. So now I got decent yeast, and I'm gonna, I'm making bread. What is it? 2.5 cups of flour, 1 egg, 1 cup of milk, tablespoon of vegetable oil or olive oil, teaspoon of salt, tablespoon of sugar. Mix it up in a bowl for a little bit, and then knead it for, I don't know, maybe you want to turn it 100 times. I probably didn't even turn it 100 times, maybe 75 or something. I was just lazy. It'll be bread, it'll be fine. As long as the yeast is working, it'll be good. Best thing about making bread is the smell. Right, Sam? Samson. Where is everybody? Oceana's here. Hey, man! What a dick. I don't know. It's clear to me that it is propaganda. How cold is it there, Shirley Jones? It's cold here too. It's real windy. And I was working with Merlin's owners and everything. Who, by the way, we did a session in the morning, and then they repeated the session when I wasn't there, and I just got a text from them that said that Merlin crushed it. So 29. Yeah, it's something like that here, but it's sort of real damp out and windy, so it just feels way worse. Like it's not, you know. It was snowing here, but it just like it doesn't. It's not accumulating anything. It's just sort of. It looked like a snow globe. That's the kind of snow that it was. A real weird looking snow. Like, you know how snow later in the winter just sort of looks different. Sometimes it looks like real wet, but this time it doesn't. But it's real tiny. It's almost like. I hope it doesn't stick. I'm just sick of it. You know, we're real close to spring. you know, what is it, the 20, what is today? The 26th, 27th? No, it would be the 20, I don't know, it's something like that. You should go check to see if the beavers are out yet. No. Oh, you mean all the beavers and beaver dams? I'll tell you what is coming back is I see the robins. There's a lot of robins. The starlings leave for a little bit and then come back. They're already back. I'll tell you what's a great looking bird is the Baltimore Oriole. God damn, man. That bird looks like it should be in the jungle. Seriously, that is such a beautiful bird. They eat. Yeah, we got hummingbirds here too. I have 2 hummingbirds nests right now. What state? What are you in, California or where? I mean, our hummingbirds don't. You know, our hummingbirds don't come here until about May 14th or May 15th, and then they just show up. But we have them. We have the ruby-throated. Sammy, what is that? We have the ruby-throated. They're pretty cool. I do put hummingbird feeders up for when they first get here, but then I'm not doing it daily, and you know, it's sort of their job to like look for flowers and stuff. I'm not doing it. But I've looked around for hummingbird nests. I haven't found one. They're so tiny. You know, this is a breeding area, I believe, because they're here. They're here all summer, I think. All right, Sam. I'll tell you what I do see is robin's nest. God damn. Every year I have a robin in my yard. At least 1 or 2 making a nest. Their nests are amazing. You know, with what? Hummingbirds love string lights? Oh, like red Christmas lights that then, and they look like a flower, so they go up to them. Is that right? That's interesting. Turned on? Baltimore Orioles like oranges cut in half. And evidently they like grape jelly, but I wouldn't give them grape jelly. You have to have 2 nests built on them. Really? Do you know what species of hummingbird it is? Clearly you're someplace warm. I mean, the hummingbirds don't get into New York State, into this area, until A.N. I don't know what that is. But they don't get into New York State till May. But I think for some reason, some of them go farther up. It might dip. Oh, it's an Anna's hummingbird. I see. My dad would put the orange halves out for the orange. Yeah, it's an amazing bird, right? My neighbor was doing it. I was like, what are those birds? She goes, the Baltimore Orioles. And then I saw them and I'm like, oh man, I'm going to go get some oranges. And it's really a fantastic looking bird. I don't know where they go in the winter, but maybe they go to Baltimore. I doubt it though. For some reason, I think they're going south, real far south. What do you want, Sam? Samson? I wish I had like a pork chop or something. Maybe I can find some pork chops in the freezer. I have potatoes. I could make baked potatoes. Saw my first cardinal in Iowa in February. Really? That was your first cardinal in Iowa? We got them here. We got cardinals here. You know what we have? We have the little downy woodpeckers, of course, but sometimes you'll see the big ones with the big giant red head, like the woody woodpecker, woodpecker. My neighbor's cat got one like 2 years ago. I was fucking furious, you know. Just pissed me off. It's like stupid cat. I haven't seen that cat lately. Which is good. It was killing birds right and left. Like, get out of here, asshole. Stupid cat. They'll just indiscriminately kill. They don't give a shit. Cardinals are cool. The males are cool looking. Cardinals would be even cooler if they were bright green. I wish we had more bright green birds here, but we don't. The only bright green birds we have here are invasive species, like, not here, but like Brooklyn, monk parakeets, you'll see those. That's cool. You're in Brooklyn seeing this green parakeet flying through. There's a whole tribe of them in Williamsburg, Sunset Park too, I think. And in Chicago. Chicago has those. They're really cool. We don't have enough of those. Right, Sam? Sam, you want me to pet your head? Here. How you doing, Samson? You look good, brother. You're a good boy. You're a good boy, Sammy. Oh, you know those parakeets? Yeah. Yeah, Fort Greene, that's right. Yeah, they're cool. Yeah, they're in Fort Greene, that's right. They're there too. I love those things. In Williamsburg, there was like the baseball field, and they had the real high, like lights that would and get real hot and real bright that would come down and like illuminate the field at night. So they were living in those things, and then they upgraded those and they ripped all the nests down. What a bunch of dicks, Those things were there for years, and I don't know where they went, but it was pretty uncool. I don't know, maybe they're back, but I was furious. I was like, why do you have to do that? Why can't you just change one at a time or something? Eucalyptus trees. Wow. I know where you are. I forgot. Now I know. Right next to the channel. Yeah, I know where you're from. Right, Sammy? What about the koala bears? Are they in the eucalyptus trees? Do you see them there? See the koalas? I might have to get a koala bear. It'd be a great pet. Or a sloth. A sloth would be so cool. What do? They eat some leaves and shit? Sloth? Don't they have moss on them because they move so slow? It's like a moving log. They're cute. They're really cute. All right, I gotta. I'll live stream later. It's so gross here today. We have wildfire smoke blowing in, and it's 85 degrees. No kidding. I think I heard something about that wildfire. Yeah, I know about wombats. They're cool. I think I saw that wildfire thing on the news. 85? You're lucky. It's cold here. We're close. We're getting close. Ow. Sammy. I'm going to go eat something. I'll live stream later. Thanks, everybody. I'll see ya. Don't believe the propaganda, man. Watch whatever you want, but keep an open eye. It's in West Texas. I'll see y'all. I got to eat something.